Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Seedtime demo. We are live. Look, we got people streaming in the room here already. Hey, Kim, Rachel, Bree, Jen, Laura, fantastic. Excited to have you. How many of you, is this your first time on a live meeting with us? Usually my dad and I actually do these together, but for this demo, it's just going to be myself today. But yeah, let us know if this is your first time. We've got a really awesome demonstration planned for you. Hopefully everything runs really smoothly. Plus, we have a very special big announcement, actually. We made some major changes to our plans as we launch out this launch, this Kickstarter, our fundraising campaign for Seedtime. And I just want to tell each one of you, we are so honored that you are a part of it, that you're one of our VIP members, and that you have, you already put down $1, right, to reserve your registration. And it's just really exciting to see this community coming together. So very excited. Looks like, yeah, we've got quite a few first timers. Hey, Donald. Yeah. Sabrina, I love it. Awesome. Okay, so listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know this is the middle of the day. Some of you may be on a lunch break, etc. Just wanted to give a couple minutes for people to come in. Let me tell you what we're going to do and how this is going to work. Number one, I'm going to give a very fast little introduction, especially for those of you that are first timers, just to get to know us very quickly. Not going to spend a lot of time on that because I know we want to get into the app very fast. Second, we're going to do a demonstration of the app itself, right? And we're going to talk about the features that are there that we've already built out, features that we're going to be building out, and even some dreams for the future, right? Then we are going to talk about our Kickstarter tomorrow and how Kickstarters work, what the pledge levels are, and what you get. And we've got some this is where we have a very special announcement and some very exciting things that we are building out. If it's been a question in your mind, if you've been wondering, can I really afford Seedtime? I think you're going to be very interested in what we have planned out there. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to some question and answers. And I'm not going to stay on for a super long time, but we'll see if we can catch some question and answers, because I'm sure you all will have questions. If you have a question, please mark it as a question. When you type in your chat, there's a little toggle you can click to mark that chat as a question, and it has a little red circle that comes onto your chat and makes it easier for me to see. Let's see here. Okay. Another thing is that once you type in your chat, after it's already popped up, you'll see like a little circle there. Again, you can click on that and it will mark it as a question. So I don't want to miss your questions at the end. Okay, so you all ready to get started? Who wants to jump on and get started? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some slides here. I'm going to start with just a few slides, and then we're going to jump directly into the actual just make sure I have them up here. Okay, yeah, then we're going to jump into the actual demo of the app itself. Okay, does this look familiar to any of you? Probably not, because it's ours, but this is just, before we get into the actual app itself, I wanted to give you just a little background. This is actually a screenshot of a very complex gardening spreadsheet that we had on the back end that we ultimately used in creating our first click and drop gardening calendars. So if you've ever been frustrated with trying to figure out how to plan your garden, figuring out how to get your beds prepared, so you direct seed, transplant, when should you be doing those things, when should you be planting succession plantings or leapfrog plantings, have you ever just been flying by the seat of your pants? You kind of forget when you need to get your plants started, especially if you're going to grow for the fall or the winter, right? Or struggle with proactive weed control, need a place to get everything organized, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the thing. Imagine being able to effortlessly plan your entire year-round garden in just minutes. eliminate the decision grind so you can focus on the fun part of growing and know exactly what you should be doing every week without having to think about it so that you are never behind. Imagine being able to use leapfrog planting or succession planting to double your harvest. You can usually do that with succession planting or more without the hassle of counting back days to maturity or calculating harvest times. I mean, frankly, succession planting before used to be a very mind-bending task to try and figure out all of these different things and more. So if that excites you, let me know. It sounds too good to be true, right? This, honestly, what I'm about to show you is the most ridiculously easy way that I know of to grow veggies all year round. And you don't have to grow all year round. You can just grow in the spring or whenever you want to. But when we first shared this with our inner circle community, the response was absolutely overwhelming. And this was our pre-program, right? Our first click and drop gardening calendars, and people just went wild. It's just like, thank you, groundbreaking. I love this. Keeps getting better. Feel like I hit the jackpot. Love it. I'm always feeling behind, right? So very, very fast introduction to us. Like I said, I'm not going to spend much time on this. This is myself, Paul, my dad, Edwin. I grew up, we had a garden pretty much anywhere we went. My mom was an avid gardener. Later, my dad partnered with his brother on Bountiful Blessings Farm. We spent years doing commercial growing, small scale. We did CSAs and farmers markets, grew 50 to 70 different varieties of vegetables, herbs, and berries. Grew all year round, straight through the winter. In fact, we specialized in a winter CSA. That's a picture from January, I believe. You can see a little bit of snow there with those veggies. It's a real family thing. We absolutely love being together as a family. So here I am with my dad, Edwin, my mom, Jennifer, and then later my wife joined, or I married my wife, and so she joined the team. My Natasha, most wonderful girl in the world. I absolutely love her to pieces. And we now have a son, Ethan. Through the years, we've had the privilege of being speaking in different places, but really the thing that gets us excited most is when we hear back from you. And our students. So Roy Kim says there's a noticeable difference in the amount of fruitage this year compared to last year. Jennifer says, thanks so much for making my gardening experience a joy. So I know I'm blazing through this really quick because we want to get down to the meat. Here's the deal. Gardening is full of decisions. And it's the simple, to be able to do it effectively, is the simple art of knowing what to do. That's your plan. Having, what do I do? Do I transplant? Do I direct seed? Do I, how to do it? How do you actually accomplish that task in your garden? And getting it done at the right time. And if you have all three of those things pulled together, we call it our power of a perpetual harvest hack. Because if you know what to do, you know how to do it, and you know when to do it at the right time without having to spend a lot of mental energy figuring it out, it makes a huge difference. If you have an effortless way to plan your entire year-round garden, and that's knowing what to do, right? If you have expert gardening tricks, actions at the tip of your fingers, an automatic weekly checklist to know what to do, the timing, it creates what we call our perpetual harvest hack. So I'm going to jump off here, and who wants to actually jump in and see the app for themselves? I'm going to pull up would you like me to pull up a demo of the app so you can see what we're talking about? Let me know in the chat, and I will see what I can do here. All right, here we go. Okay, yes, please. I mean, that's what you guys came on here anyways for, right? So here is Seedtime, what we currently have put together in all its glory at the moment. Let me just slide a window out of the way. So what I'm going to do with you today is we are going to just walk our way through Seedtime. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to walk our way through basically what we have put together now and what is going to be built out, and we're going to talk about some pretty awesome things that we have planned for the future. Now, Seedtime is not your ordinary gardening calendar or gardening app. There's a lot of different gardening apps out there. Frankly, when we tried using different ones, we just found that they were in many ways lacking. And so it inspired us and the promises we made to our students to ultimately create our own. And so Seedtime, the calendar itself is going to be based on your location. It's going to be tailored to your location. And that means it's going to pull your average frost dates. It's going to take your location, your latitude, and your growing zone to build out a plan that works for you. And I'll just show you a visual example of that. We actually have frost zones built directly into the calendar here itself. This is a little newer feature that we just got working more recently. So you can click on your average frost zone and it will drop it into the calendar and just turn your average frost time in your year a light blue color. So at a very simple glance, you can easily see in your calendar, should I be looking out for frost at this time? Can I expect frosts at this time of year? By the way, as we go through this, let me know in the chat if you guys think these these are cool. We're really excited about this. Maybe you can tell. So, but we didn't stop there, because frost is one thing, but when it comes to growing in the winter, there are hard frosts and there are soft frosts, and different plants can handle different amounts of frost, etc. So what we decided to do is we decided to take it to the next level and actually include a hard frost zone as well. So when you can expect temperatures in your area to drop into the low 20s and below, when you might need to be looking out for that. So we'll get to it a little bit later. That plays in a little bit more when you're growing in the winter. But even so, even for a spring garden, it ties in to knowing, for example, when should I be transplanting something out into my garden? And will those transplants be okay with a little bit of a frost, or am I going to be looking out? Am I going to be expecting harder frosts, right, coming in? Merritt says, is this a 50% chance on the frost date? We've talked about different things, and frankly, we'd love your input. We may even give you the ability to choose what percentage you want. But we love you guys' input on that. That's one of the reasons why we need you, right? Because we want you to be able to tailor this app to you. And so your input is going to make a huge difference. So just starting out from the bat, it's custom tailored to your location. And by the way, that means if you're living up in a microclimate, let's say 7,000 feet up in the mountains, right? You'll be able to manually adjust these things to accurately reflect where you're specifically growing. So that's the kind of the overall background to the app. The next cool thing is on the left-hand side here, you'll see we have our crop list. These are the crops that we're going to be growing in our calendar. And we have built these as what we call click and drop gardening planting schedules. So you'll see they're divided into group categories like beets, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, corn, etc. And then under each of those categories is a planting schedule. You'll be able to click on a planting schedule and it drops it into your calendar, telling you when to seed it, when to prepare your bed, when to transplant it, unexpected harvest time. We actually are going to throw in a couple cultivation reminders in there as well. We don't have those implemented yet. And in the future, we are planning to have it be able to have you put in custom tasks as well. If you want to just put in a custom task, you can do that. You'll be able to do that at some point in the future. So it makes planning your garden extremely easy. And these will drop in at the recommended time for you to plant those based on your current location. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm going to show you. So we have these click and drop planting schedules here, but how do you add crops to your, the crops that you're going to grow? So what you can do is you can add, we have built in a list of over 30 plus different vegetables and herbs, crop categories is what I'm going to call them. Okay. So I'll give you an example here. Let's say I want to grow some lettuce. I can click on lettuce and it pops up and it allows me to add lettuce as a crop into my calendar. And here are all the different what do you call them? The word is skipping my mind, but the different variables for that crop, like what is its stage to maturity. So you can adjust that. You can edit it for example, if your lettuce plant, you can, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should just start up here at the top. You'll be able to put in a specific variety of lettuce. So if it's like an oak leaf or, you know, whatever specific variety of lettuce that you're going to grow, you can type that into this spot and it will record that specific variety, right? Then you can come and you can choose whether it's a spring and summer crop or if it's a fall and winter planting. Do you want it to be based as a fall winter planting schedule or a spring summer planting schedule? You'll put in the suggested planting date. By the way, I'm saying you'll put in, all of these have defaults in there as well. So if you don't want to take the time to put all of it in yourself, you can just use the default. And the default will be the suggested planting date or seeding date relative to either your first frost or your last frost. Depending on whether it's a spring or a summer or a fall planting, right? You can choose whether you're going to direct seed or transplant that crop. You'll be able to put in days to maturity. I know you'll be able to put in the harvest window length. Do you want a longer harvest do you want it to show as a longer harvest or a shorter harvest? We have it listed here in weeks. But in the little inputs here, it's still in days. We're going to switch that out so that it's in weeks. I don't want to confuse you there. Lettuce doesn't have a harvest window of 14 weeks. It's 2 weeks right there. So then you'll come down and I'm just going to put it in with the defaults here. So you can drop that into your calendar and it will tell you, you know, when to suggest seeding, prepare your bed, transplant, harvest of that lettuce crop. Let's see. All right, I know many of you have questions and stuff. We're just going to run through this quickly, and then I'm going to try and catch your questions at the end, just so you know. All right. So we have those defaults put into the calendar as well. Like I said, the 30 plus defaults. And by the way, we're going to be expanding this and inputting specific varieties into here. So for example, with tomatoes, we will have the category tomatoes, but you'll be able to just put in Sun Gold cherry tomatoes. And it will automatically fill out the form based on Sun Gold cherry tomatoes. We're not there yet, but we're going to be inputting all of those varieties. We're going to be going to seed companies, getting all of that information and putting them all in here. So make it as easy as possible. Otherwise, if there is something that you want to grow that's not in here, you can add a new crop. And what you're going to do with that is you will literally. So I'm gonna add a new crop in right here with you. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna add mâche. Now some of you might not know what mâche is. Mâche is a specialty French green. It's really great in salads. It's almost got a little bit of a spinachy flavor, buttery flavor. So anyways, I'm gonna put it in as a spring summer. I am going to just type in some numbers here because I don't have it off the top of my head what the actual days to maturity and everything are. So I'm going to give it a 2-week harvest window length. Same with the succession planting. And then we have some other things down here like a frost kill temperature that's going to play into our winter gardening algorithm. Is it a cool season, warm season crop? We'll be dealing with some of those other things as well. Then you can choose the color for it. So I'm going to say with my mâche, I want it to be kind of a dark green because mâche is a dark green. And then I'm going to save it and it should add to the calendar here. Let's see. There we go. So now you can see I have seeding mâche, bed preparation, transplanting, and the harvesting of it based on what I inputted as a custom crop. Does that make sense? Christine says mâche is my favorite salad. That's fantastic. I love it. I love that you know what mâche is. Okay, so that covers adding a crop or adding custom crops into the calendar. And I want to let you know, we've had quite a few people asking us, what about flowers? And we are currently working with a flower farmer to input flowers into our database as well. So we are going to be expanding this database out, not just to include vegetables and herbs, but we're going to be including flowers. We're going to be including berries in here, small fruits, and who knows, again, we're looking for your input on what all should be included in the default crops that we have built into the app itself. All right, but it gets even better than that. So because you can drop these in, but let's say, what if you want to actually move them around? In our previous calendars that we had, it just let you drop them in and they had set time periods and you couldn't move them. But now with our new calendar, you can actually move these in your calendar to the specific week that you want it to grow on. And by the way, each task we give each task a week long for it to be accomplished. Starts on Sunday, goes through Saturday. So you'll be able to very easily move your planting schedules to exactly where you want them to be. That can be helpful. For example, if I want to grow 2 crops of beets and I want to line up their harvest times, let's say if this seeding is over here, you can say this is harvesting beets 1, this is harvesting beets 2. So I want to line up their harvest times, I can just pull it over. Or another thing is, let's say, for example, that you didn't get to actually seed those beets on that week. You missed it. And hey, life happens. That happens, right? So you'll be able to easily just come in and move that planting schedule to the next week. It'll automatically change your whole schedule, moving forward. And without even thinking about it, you can get set up for, you can just plant that planting of beets a week later. It will warn you, we haven't built this in yet, but it will warn you if you're pushing it too far. So if it's a cool weather crop and you're pushing too far into the summer, it will pop up a little warning and it will tell you, hey, this is getting into the hot season. It may not do as well. It's not going to force you not to. You can move your beets into the middle of summer if you want to. And, maybe you're growing under a shade cloth and you've got misters going to keep it cool or whatever, right? So it's not going to force you, but it will warn you. So if you are a new gardener, you'll be able to, and actually I would like to make it visual so you can visually see the suggested, best time periods for that to grow. All right, so you have movable planting schedules. The next thing is that we are including automatic succession planting schedules. And I'm just going to jump over to a timeline view here. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this in a timeline view, and I'm going to demonstrate this with carrots. So for example, let's say that we want to have a continual harvest of carrots from our garden during the spring season. So we've put in our first planting of carrots. You'll be able to actually, just with a couple clicks, put in a succession planting of carrots that drops in with a harvest time that begins when your first planting's harvest time ends. And you can do that as many times as you want. So with just a few clicks, you can set up those succession planting schedules and make it extremely simple. Or let's just give the example of lettuce. Let's say I want to grow another crop of lettuce. So I'm going to input another crop of lettuce here. And we're just going to put it in with the defaults. And so it drops it in at the same time, but I can just easily move it over and line up that harvest time. Or think about it this way as well. What if I want to grow lettuce where it's ready to transplant at the same time that the first crop is being harvested? So now I can line it up where my second planting of lettuce is ready to transplant when I'm harvesting at the end of my harvest of my first planting of lettuce. Does that make sense? And it will automatically calculate when you should be seeding those, and that's going to automatically go into your weekly task list, so you don't even have to think about it. You guys seeing how cool this is? What do you think? So excited. We are so excited about it, and we can't wait to get it into your hands. And it doesn't just have to be between specific, it doesn't just have to be between a lettuce to a lettuce. You can, for example, you could line up and say, I want to transplant this lettuce I'm just going to do it with the carrots here since I already have it here, right? I want to transplant this lettuce when I'm done harvesting these carrots. So you just line up the transplanting time when you're done harvesting the carrots up here, and that's going to go in. That lettuce will get transplanted to where those carrots were growing. And by the way, we have plans on layouts and how you can plan for specific areas of your garden and stuff like that. I'm just showing you examples of how these succession plantings can easily work and fit into your garden. All right, so next, after succession planting, let me show you one more thing with the succession plantings. Let me just go back to a timeline. So not only can you set up succession plantings like this, but you will also be able to, there's a little link icon here. You'll be able to link your planting schedules together in case you want to move. Let's say you missed direct seeding your first planting, succession planting of carrots. You missed it by a week and you want to move them all a week forward. You can just come and link them together and move them all a week forward and they'll all move together. So it just makes moving succession plantings or multiple planting schedules all together at one time. All right, but listen, y'all, it gets even better than that, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and let's just pretend I'm planning out my garden, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and drop in a bunch of crops here and planting schedules. So once, when you're planning out your garden, this is kind of what it's going to end up looking like, right? You're going to have all of these different crops that you're growing. This is every week, you've got, these are the tasks for that week that automatically populate. But as you can see, once you put in a whole bunch of different crops, it can get a little busy. You've got a lot going on, right? So we have implemented a filter that you can filter down to the specific tasks. So let's say I only want to see what is going to be seeded coming up in my garden. So I'm going to turn off all the tasks except for seeding. And boom, there we go. We filtered down just to see the seeding task, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to look ahead. Let's say, we're coming up on March here, and I can see, okay, I've got kohlrabi, beets, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, and another planting of beets. So I need to make sure that I have those seeds available to plant this month. Does that make sense? Of course, you can buy all of your seeds for the whole season if you want to, but you can easily check when things are going to be seeded. Or, for example, you can filter down. Let's just turn on the harvesting one and filter down just to harvesting and see just our harvesting tasks. And this makes it very much easier. For example, if you want to plan your garden or your small farm based on when you're going to be harvesting different things in your garden. For example, I'm going to give you an example here. Let's say I want to grow cucumbers. Well, here. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to go ahead and turn these tasks back on. That was a simple, and by the way, you can do any combination of the tasks. So you can see seeding as well as harvesting if you only want to see those two, etc. I'm going to go ahead and put these other tasks back into the calendar. We've also created a filter, search bar filter up here where you can filter down, once you have a whole bunch of crops in here, let's say you only want to work with 2 different crops. So let's say you want to work with carrots and lettuce. You can type in carrots and lettuce into the filter and it will pull up and only show in the calendar the carrot plantings that you have and the lettuce plantings that you have. They should show up here in just a second. By the way, we're going to be cleaning up this code in the calendar and doing everything we can to make it as fast as possible for you. Well, they should show up here. Yeah, it was showing for me earlier, so we'll see if it works. As you can see, this is a work in progress. There we go. Here they coming. It's a work in progress. We're building this out, and that's what we need you for. to help us with figuring out any bugs or anything that's going on. So you can filter down just to those two crops and be able to edit them and move them around, etc. I'm going to go ahead and back out of that. And now I'm going to switch over to the timeline view. And let's say, for example, I'm going to give you another use case. For example, here I have cucumbers here. It's this planting schedule right here. Let's say I'm planning to, right now they are set to be harvesting in July. But let's say I know that I have a vacation planned in July and they're pickling cucumbers and I want to get them pickled. I can either move them back, if there's enough time, to be able to plant them earlier in the spring. I can move them back and make sure that my harvest is in June, or I could bump them forward, right? And make sure that they start harvesting in August so it doesn't get conflict with my special vacation that I have planned. So you're able to easily move your planting schedules around in that way. You've already seen it a little bit. We have multiple views for the calendar. You can view it in this timeline view, or you can view it by year like we've been looking at here. We also have a month view, just month by month. You'll just see each week what the tasks are for that week. And we do not have it built out quite yet. But we will have a list view, which is going to be that weekly checklist that you have, which we'll talk about with you in just a second here. Now, you might think that all of this is cool, but believe it or not, it gets even more exciting. It gets even better than this, okay? So let me just... I'm going to put in some radishes here. I'm going to show you something pretty cool. So we are building into the Seedtime app what we call our winter gardening algorithm. This is a special algorithm that will automatically calculate your harvest delays based on your location over the winter. Because what happens is, as it gets colder, as the temperature gets colder and as the day length decreases, it's a double factor of day length and temperature. I'm simplifying it. I mean, I'm sure there's other factors as well, but the double factor of day length and temperature, your plants start growing slower and slower and slower, which is one of the huge keys with winter gardening. For example, let's just pull over my broccoli here. If I want to be harvesting broccoli in October, I've got to be seeding it back in July, right? So oftentimes people aren't thinking about their fall garden. And one of the things that trips people up, I think, the most in winter gardening is not getting things seeded early enough. It's that timing of getting things seeded. And so having it put into a calendar like this is going to help you a lot with that timing and making sure you get it in at the right time. But like I was saying, plants growth slows down over the winter. And so as you seed further into the winter, this is for people that are wanting to do winter gardening and by the way, we teach how to protect your veggies in an extremely simple way that does not break your pocketbook without breaking your pocketbook. But as you seed further and further, it takes longer and longer for those plants to mature. So what we have done is, or what we are doing, it isn't fully implemented into the calendar yet. This is just an example, is we have set where it will automatically calculate your harvest delays based on when you are seeding that crop. So you'll notice as I pull these forward, the harvest time delays out further. You see that? And that's going to automatically happen based on your location and where you are. And it's going to happen based on how much covers you have on that crop. Is it just growing in a hoop house? Is that all the protection it has? Or are you growing in a hoop house with a row cover? It's got 2 layers of protection. So on the coldest nights, you pull a row cover over it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. We teach you how to do it as well. But basically, based on how many covers you have, and for those of you who might grow commercially or have small farms out there, you probably know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about row covers and hoop houses or greenhouses. You'll be able to set those based on the planting schedule itself. So let's say this planting schedule is growing in a hoop house where I use multiple covers, right? And it will calculate those harvest delays based on how many covers that you have on that crop. super, super excited. By the way, in most places in the US, you can grow year round with simple, cost-effective protection measures without heated hoop houses. We know people in Maine, the state of Maine, we know, and that's like zone 5 down to zone 5. We know people in Michigan, in Washington, people all over are growing year round without additional heat even. And if you live in a rarer location where it gets crazy dark in the middle of the winter, you know, or you just can't grow straight through the winter, you'll be able to extend your season a lot into the winter as well. All right, so that is our proprietary winter gardening algorithm. Now, who here is excited? You see it? Kind of, and this is just the beginning, by the way. This is just the beginning. We've got a lot more planned. Now, this is, by the way, we wanted to take, it gets even better. We wanted to take this to the next level. So with every single task in the calendar, we wanted you to not only know what to do, like seeding, prepare your bed, transplant, you know, harvest, etc., but we wanted to, and when to do it in your calendar, but we wanted to give you the tools of how to do it as well, which is what we have been teaching for years. So it was frankly a no-brainer to pull it in. So with every single task, you can click on a task, it will pop up, and specific to that crop, it will give you crop recommendations and tell you what to do and how to do it. So this is seeding beets, and it will tell you, we actually have links out to some of our favorite varieties. So you can literally just click and it will take you over to one of our favorite seed companies. We have Johnny's, High Mowing, multiple different seed companies that we purchase from. And you can just order that variety if you don't want to try and figure out what variety to grow yourself. We got our favorite varieties in there. Seeding recommendations will tell you how many seeds do you seed, you know, what should you use for seeding them. If you're going to direct seed them, what is that plant spacing for beets? We'll tell you what to do and how to do it. Plus, we have visual demonstration videos showing you how to do it. So for example, if I click on seeding your starts, it jumps me over to this page, and there's multiple videos, masterclass video lessons going. By the way, you get an entire masterclass gardening course here: weeding, trellising, watering, pest control, handling diseases, planting your garden, succession planting, ordering seeds, garden tools, soil maintenance, successful composting, etc. Right? So you can jump over and watch any of these videos that give you a demonstration on how to do it. Hey, so in this video, we're going to be talking about starting your seeds in soil blocks, or you could do this in plug trays as well, or in some type of container. And hey, so in this video, we're going to be, stuck. I was going to try and jump forward in the video so you could see part of the demonstration, but it just got stuck there. Anyways, with every single task. So that's seeding beets, right? But what if I want to go to bed preparation? So I pop up bed preparation. It's going to tell you exactly what to do to prepare your bed, how to do it, bed preparation in 5 easy steps, how you can get a head start on the weeds, etc. We have included also, by the way, for those of you that grow carrots or other direct seeded crops, we've included something called a stale seed bed task in the calendar. You don't have to use it. You can turn it off if you want to, but it's just a reminder to get your bed prepared ahead of time. This is this is not if you're doing like mulched beds and stuff, but this is if you're doing a bare ground bed before planting carrots. You can prepare that bed a couple weeks ahead of time and get your first batches of weeds to sprout ahead of time and knock them out, and you'll reduce your weed pressure by a whole lot in your garden. So we've implemented that directly into the calendar, so you can use it if you want to. So with every single one of these, and including harvest, it'll pop up and tell you harvest times. We're going to have information on the frost zones as well that will give you tips on how many layers of protection do you want based on what temperature it is in your garden, etc. Very, very cool. But can you believe it? It gets even better than that. So exciting. So I'm going to jump over here and jump back to our slides. And by the way, our plant spacings, you will be able to, for example, use it with square foot gardening or any type of gardening. We're going to give you recommendations based on any that you can use and multiply for any garden space that you have. All right, I already kind of mentioned it, but you will be able to have a weekly task list that automatically compiles from your garden, and that's what's visually demonstrated here. We don't have it currently built into the app yet, but this is what is one of those features that is coming. So every single week, you can just go in and it will have a checklist. It will turn it into a checklist, and you can literally check off those tasks and they'll drop down into a done section. So you can very easily stay on task. And then once again, if you miss a task from last week that's critical, like seeding, you can just go into your calendar and move that planting schedule to the next week, and it will automatically change, your task list going out into the future. We are also building into the app a garden journal. So you can keep a nice journal throughout your whole season. And you'll be able, with that journal, you'll be able to tag specific planting schedules or even down to a specific task. It will link to a specific day in your plan. I'm going to figure out a way that we can make it where you can actually take pictures and put pictures into your journal as well, right? Now, let me show you something here. I'm just going to pull up the calendar again real quick. Imagine being able to just click a little button here and it will show you visually on the calendar of your whole last year, every day where there was a journal entry, and whether that journal if that journal entry was tied with a specific planting schedule or with a specific task, and you can just like hover over the journal entry and it'll pop up and you can read it real quickly. So if, for instance, you remember there was something about carrots last year that you wanted to remember, you can just go back to last year and turn on the journal, and it will show you exactly where in the year that journal entry was. You can look at it and see it extremely quickly and easily, all tied to your calendar plan. Cool. All right. You will also, like I said, it gets even better. This is kind of our mantra here. Can it get better? Can it get better than that? Yes, it can get better. So you will also be able to print out your calendar. You'll be able to print it out in different views. You can print out that weekly checklist. So if you don't want to deal with the checklist on your phone or your computer or whatever, by the way, I think it's going to be easiest for most people to plan their garden on the computer because it's a larger screen. It's going to be a lot easier. But when it comes to the journal entries and the task list and checking things off, you could easily, that's going to be very easy to use on your phone out in the garden itself. We want to make sure that technology does not get in the way of you getting your hands in the dirt. So this is extremely important to us. If you want a physical copy, you can print it out. So you'll be able to print out that checklist, or you can print out your yearly plan that's kind of visualized here in this picture, or the timeline. If you want to print out a timeline, makes it super, super easy to have a physical copy that you can take out into your garden. We are building Seedtime so that it can be used on any device, on any platform. We're launching it as a web application, which means you'll use it in your web browser. In the future, we may look into, we are planning to look into creating native apps as well that would be native to each platform, and you would be able to then have the ability to use Seedtime offline as well as online. And then just whenever it came online, it would sync to whatever things that you did when offline. So, just so you know, it will be available on all platforms. You can use it on your computer, your tablet, or your phone. We're going to make sure that it is mobile friendly as well. So that's exciting. And like I said before, and I have said before, this is frankly just the beginning. We have plans out for the future, ideas that we would like to take this, and those plans include like garden space maps or visual layouts of your garden synced to your gardening calendar. So imagine being able to take a slider and slide it across your year and visually see dynamically what spaces in your garden are being used up by a certain crop at any moment of time during your year. And so you could slide across your year and see what spaces are empty in case you want to add a new crop in. Again, it's just going to tie the visual plan of your garden to your calendar and make it extremely easy to edit and adjust both on the fly at the same time. So cool. So the garden space maps. We also, thoughts for the future is incorporating weather information. Check this out. You got to see this on the actual calendar itself. Okay. So what if on every single day you were able to turn on weather and it would tell you a past record of the high and low for that day and maybe a little sun or cloud or rain. So, whether it rained or it was sunny, and you could have a past record of all your weather in the past, plus a current and future forecast, like up to a 10-day future forecast of your highs and your lows and your sun and the little weather. And you could turn that on and off directly in your calendar of your app itself. So every time you log in, you can have a quick view of, okay, here's the weather coming up and I've got these tasks for those weeks, and I can get an idea of what needs to be done. So again, something that we are thinking of including as a possible inclusion for the future. Next is a small farm extension. What about harvest records? And this is going to be more for advanced small farm users. So much more in-depth types of recording harvest, planning pick and pack schedules. Maybe you want to plan specific harvests for specific days, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, we've farmed. We're gardeners now, but we've been farmers. So I guess maybe you could say we're farmers too, because we spent years commercially farming as well. But that's a whole nother extension that we're thinking of planning out to grow out into the future as well. I'm going to tell you though, honestly, what gets us the most excited is you. We're doing this for you. I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun using it ourselves, but we're doing it for you. And what gets us so excited is when we hear back from people like you who put our training to use and our calendars to use. Roy Kim here says there was a very noticeable difference in the amount of fruitage this year compared to last year. Joelle, so much produce. I want to say this season might be the most ever, thanks to the new methods that I've used. Larry, consider myself to be somewhat experienced gardener. I can't even tell you how much I've learned already from the gardening courses. Here's a picture of her harvest. Look at that bumper harvest of green beans, tomatoes, eggplant. I think she's got some cucumbers in there as well. Larry was excited about having her first December harvest because we taught her how to grow in the winter using quick hoops. So easy, so simple, and she was able to be harvesting in the middle of winter in December. She was super excited about that. James here, again, using a very simple quick hoop. His kale and collards did well all winter, fresh greens all winter. Here's just a picture of them. So cool. So the question is, what would it be worth to you to be able to have a fresh harvest of veggies from your garden every single week, a continual harvest? What's it worth to not have to go to the grocery store? Instead, to walk out into your backyard and pick some kale or pick some lettuce and create a salad and have a nutrient-dense packed meal directly from your garden in a matter of 30 minutes. And by the way, you get so much more nutrients from your garden. What's it worth to you to be able to have that food and make it available to your family and be able to share it with your friends, right? And to have those nutrients available to your kids and to your wife, to your husband, to your family. What is it worth to you? And our goal with Seedtime is to take the barriers of entry to gardening and break them all down and give you a simple plug and play, easy click and drop system that makes it extremely easy, not just to grow a garden, because a lot of people garden and they plant in the spring and they have a glut of a harvest in the middle of the summer, and then their garden does nothing for the rest of the year, right? What would it be worth it? We want to make it so click and drop simple and easy that you can have a continual harvest and plan a continual harvest from your garden, or if you're on a small farm, right, that makes it so much easy, etc. So I am super excited to introduce to you a new pilot program that we are launching. This is new. We've been listening to your feedback in the Facebook group, and this has evolved, and so this is new. Seedtime is currently a work under construction. The main features listed, it says on this page, it's going to be on the Kickstarter page, are the base features that we will be using to launch the beta version of the app, okay? But before beta, we are going to be giving all of our backers the opportunity to get pilot access to Seedtime for the entire duration of our pilot program, okay? So if you back us at any level, and by the way, a quick little introduction to Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform where businesses like us can raise money to be able to build out the products that we have, like Seedtime, right? So what you do when we launch the Kickstarter, you're going to go on and you're going to be able to pledge a certain amount of money towards our project in exchange for some cool perks, right? And one of the perks here is that you're going to be able to access Seedtime for the entire duration of our pilot program. This means that you recognize that not all of the features are there yet, but you'll still be able to get access and start planning your garden and playing around with it. And you've seen there's a lot that's there already, right? So you'll be able to get in there and start using it, but you recognize it's not fully to completion. And we're going to be relying heavily on your feedback, for bugs or things that need to be fixed, etc. So you'll get access to the entire duration of our pilot program. And we do not have a time slot on that because we do not know exactly when we'll get all of our first features built out. But once we have those first features built out, we're going to transition it into the beta stage of our Seedtime app. So number one, you get access to the pilot program, and then we transition to beta. And on the pledges, on Kickstarter, I'm going to walk you through them, and we have a very exciting announcement with our pledges as well. Okay, so we're going to start out with the base one. Number one is Seed Starter. Seed Starter is our lowest pledge, and with all of our pledges, you get access to you get pilot access to Seedtime for the entire duration of the pilot program. That just comes with all of them. That's before we launch into beta. Then with Seed Starter, you're going to also get 1 month unlimited access, beta access to Seedtime. After we have the features, all the features done, and we transition to beta, you'll get 1 month at our unlimited level. And then you'll also be locked in for a 50% lifetime discount to both our unlimited or our basic plans. This is a huge announcement right here. We originally were planning to only bring people into our unlimited level, our unlimited plans. But we've been listening to you, and as a very special, gift to you, we are opening up our basic plans as well for a 50% discount. That means that you can continue for as low as $5 a month at the basic level, or $10 a month unlimited. So if you were wondering, am I going to be able to afford this? We are trying to do everything we can to make money not an issue for you to be able to access Seedtime and use it, right? And I'll go over what's the difference between basic and unlimited. So that's our Seed Starter. By the way, these numbers here, Seed Starter starts at $10, and this is going to be $10 on day one of the Kickstarter, and then it's going to slowly increase. But that's 50% off the retail value that our unlimited plan will eventually be at, which would be $20 for 1 month. Next level up is Veggie Grower. Again, you get pilot access to Seedtime plus 6 months unlimited beta access to Seedtime once we transition into beta. And again, you get locked in with that 50% lifetime discount to both our basic plans or our unlimited ones, meaning you can continue for just $22.50 for 6 months, or $45 every 6 months at the unlimited level. All right, Harvest King is the next level up. You get, again, pilot access to Seedtime for the entire duration of the program, plus 1 year unlimited beta access to Seedtime. You'll lock in a 50% discount, so you can continue afterwards at either our basic level for $40 a year or our unlimited level for $80 a year. And we will have lifetime accounts available. Now, I should mention that when we launch, we will have a very limited amount of discounted lifetime accounts for $195. Their retail value is $295. Really, I feel like the retail value is actually much higher than $295, but we set it at $295, and you guys can make your own judgment on that. But for a very limited time, we are going to be I said limited time. We're going to have a very limited amount of discounted ones available for $195. And you get unlimited access to Seedtime beginning with our pilot program, and you will have access to Seedtime for life at our unlimited plan level. Now, we do have some add-ons. Actually, it's one add-on. It's pretty cool, though. So it's exciting. So I'm just going to go over it here with you real quick. For the listed amount on each pledge, there's going to be a listed amount. You can add on elite access. So you'll just increase your pledge level amount. And elite access includes live monthly meetings with my dad and myself, a private Facebook group, our private Facebook group that we already have paying members that are part of our private Facebook group, and access to our entire garden training library online. So real quick, just going into these, every month, my dad and I jump on live with our elite members, and we do a training session. We do a garden update, so you see what's happening in our gardens, and we open up for question and answers, and we stay on I don't think there's been a time yet where we haven't answered every single question that people asked in our elite membership. So it's a very unique, small community. We have to keep it small enough that we can answer everyone's questions. Plus, with those live meetings, you'll get access to all of our past recordings for the past like 5 or 6 years or something. It's over 50 hours of recordings of live meetings that you can go and watch all of our past live meetings. The private Facebook group, it's our Born to Grow private Facebook group. We call it our Born to Grow family, and it's just a great place where our members interact with each other, ask questions, show off their harvests. Here's just a few pictures of harvests from within the Facebook group. Jan was a new gardener. She'd never grown in her entire life. This was her very, but she decided to grow a very small garden. She grew what we call our plug and play garden plan, which we have planned out already. It's one that you can just plug and play. And look, this is like her first harvest. She's so excited about it. She ended up pickling some of her cucumbers. And here's another picture of her harvest. Look, she grew beets, zucchini, corn, and her veggies look so fantastic too. She says, I've really become a gardener thanks to Born to Grow. And then you get access to our entire garden training library, which includes over 160 training and demonstration videos and resources. It includes a 14-day microgreens challenge where you walk you through how to grow your own microgreens. It includes our entire home gardening course, which sells online by itself for like $400 with a couple bonus presentations along with it. Our 7 Secrets gardening course and more. You get online access to all of that. Now, I will make it, because Kathy says, I just ordered that. Very good question. So what happens with the elite level is, don't worry, you still got a really good deal if you just purchased it. Because number one, at the elite access, you're only going to get online access to it, and it will be at a subscription level. So you don't get lifetime, it's not shipped to your door. So it's only online access, and it will be at a subscription level or for a higher price point. And you'll see on the Kickstarter page itself, it'll be a significantly higher price point. You can get lifetime access. You can add this on for lifetime access. It's like $200 more. So if you purchased the home gardening course and had it shipped to your door, you already got a very special deal with it. And don't worry, we have you in mind. We're not going to undercut you on that. So here's a quick recap of what you will get. Number one, when you pledge, you'll get access to our pilot program. You'll get access to the entire duration of the pilot program from the moment that you get access to it until we transition into our beta. And then when we transition to beta, as soon as we roll out those core features listed on the Kickstarter, we'll transition into the beta phase of Seedtime, and you'll get access to beta for the amount of time listed on the pledge level that you pledged, right? And then you can continue and either continue at our unlimited plan level or at our basic plan level. Plus, you get a 50% lifetime discount. Obviously, this does not apply to lifetime accounts, which will lock you in with a 50% lifetime discount on all of our basic and unlimited level plans. So here's a quick just visual graphic for you so you can see how the 50% lifetime discount pans out. So our basic level, it's 50% off. So normally it's $10 a month, but you can continue for just $5 or up to $40 a year, which, by the way, is like way less than $5 a month. Or at the unlimited level, $10 a month up to $80 a year. So just wanted to give you a visual so you could see that very easily. What's included in a basic plan versus an unlimited plan? Currently, what we plan, the difference is basic, you will get access to 1 gardening calendar, 25 crops, and that's crop categories. You can have an unlimited number of crop planting schedules under them. So a crop category is like cucumbers and tomatoes. But then planting schedules are the specific varieties of tomatoes that you grow under them. So you can grow sun gold tomatoes, big beef tomatoes, and you can have an unlimited number of different types of tomatoes that you grow, but you'll have access to 25 crops themselves, crop categories. You'll have access to Seedtime from any device, automatic syncing across devices, and a 50% lifetime discount, like we've been talking about. Unlimited just means everything is unlimited. Unlimited calendars, unlimited crops, unlimited crop planting schedules, etc. Why would you want unlimited calendars? Good question. Some people would like to, it's going to build in where you can set up your planting schedules to automatically, show if it's, or automatically adjust based on if it's growing in a hoop house or a greenhouse or et cetera. But some people may want to create multiple calendars for different spaces in their garden, like one calendar specifically for my hoop house, another calendar specifically for my backyard garden, another calendar specifically for the plants that I grow inside, which leads me to the next point. With each calendar, you'll be able to set its own growing location information. So for first and last frost dates, et cetera. So if you have multiple calendars, the one in your hoop house can have a different set of settings if you want it to. And then your plants inside. Some people have been asking about hydroponics. Can I grow hydroponics? You may be growing hydroponics inside with lights, and you don't need to deal with a winter gardening algorithm or anything like that. You want your plantings to just be able to grow, it's just set because you're temperature controlled, you're light controlled, everything. It's going to always be a certain amount of time to harvest on your plantings, no matter when you plant them in the year. You can create a calendar specifically for your hydroponics and set it up that way. So that's why some people may want to use multiple calendars. All right. So that's a quick rundown of the basic and unlimited. By the way, our cancellation policy is very open. Your membership is a term-to-term commitment. You can cancel anytime you want, and we work well with you. I mean, you are the foundation of our business, so we've got to care for you and care for you well. Customer service is one of my highest priorities. We're planning on having a live chat directly in the app so that people can access someone on the spot if you're having issues with the calendar. Like I said before, we really do not want tech getting in the way of you getting your hands in the ground, in the soil. So very cool. Quick note on lifetime accounts. Some people are asking about lifetime accounts. Lifetime accounts are exactly what they say. Pay once now to get a lifetime access to Seedtime with no future bills. And that will be, lifetime accounts will be at our unlimited plan level, in the little graphic that I just showed you, unlimited calendars, unlimited planting crops, unlimited planting schedules. And you will receive all upgrades and support at that level. Okay? All upgrades and support at that level. We will never phase out your lifetime account and force you to purchase a new level of access at the level of our unlimited plan. I just think that that's the worst way to do business. So we're never going to do that for you. We have students that bought lifetime accounts with us back in 2013 who are now getting a lifetime account in Seedtime at no cost, period. Talk about a good deal. Okay? That's how our company rolls. We have not had lifetime accounts available for many, many years. For many years, the only way that you could get access to our training or our calendars was through a subscription. So this is extremely special. What we are doing right now for you during this Kickstarter is extremely special. And these lifetime accounts will only be available publicly on this Kickstarter page. And then we will never be publicly making lifetime accounts available for Seedtime ever again. We reserve the right to be able to, on a private basis, maybe to a certain group or something, give them the option to get a lifetime account, but it's never going to be publicly available again. And it may frankly be your one and only opportunity to get a lifetime account. So I just want to make sure that that's clear from the beginning. So we have a limited number of discounted spots available. Some people are asking how many are there. We will reveal that to you tomorrow morning in an email and on the Facebook group. Okay. So go grab one while you can. Go grab one while you can. Highly encourage you. And by the way, one of the reasons why we do lifetime accounts, it is a larger chunk of it's a higher price point, but those higher price points really help us a lot when it comes to raising the capital that we need to be able to build out all of the cool and awesome features that we are planning to build out into this, right? Does that make sense? So development is not an inexpensive venture, app development, coding. So we're needing to raise capital to build out these all of these cool features that we've been listing for you here. And once again, I just want to end here by saying that you all are the reason why we do this and what makes us so excited about this. So, when we hear back from people, these are our members. These are people that have been using our training and have had access to our calendars. Scott, by far our best garden ever. So excited, says Linda, and thankful to God. I've never had such a great vegetables. 22 pounds in harvest today. That's all the basket would hold. Have really enjoyed the instructions, classes, and posts. My first gardening attempt. Thanks for the wonderful tips. My crazy garden has been amazing this year and grew in size and abundance. And we have more than that. These are just a couple notes from our previous calendars, by the way, which were not anywhere as cool as Seedtime is going to be. But Ray says, I absolutely love this tool. It's so simple. Even a novice like me can follow the instructions and have a successful garden. The videos are so informative and recommendations for plants are right on the money. I don't see myself using any other tool for my garden planning. You already saw, whether you are a new gardener like Jan, you've never grown before, or if you've been growing all your life like Larry, we want you to have the experience of Roy Kim, where he says there was a very noticeable difference in the amount of fruitage this year compared to last year. And I want you to notice a very big noticeable difference in the amount of stress and the amount of overwhelm in your garden as well by having a calendar that keeps you on track and makes it super simple and easy. Wendy says, I've enjoyed every minute of the class, never had a garden, mainly because it seemed so overwhelming. If that's you, maybe you can relate to Wendy. All I could think of watching the class was, I really think I can do this. I've become a member and I'm super, super excited. So listen, friends, it's time to take your garden to the skies. We want to hold your hand and help you move in that direction. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can be simple and easy. Like April here, started my planting calendar, super easy to use. I already have work to do. Love it. Trina, I watched the video of the launch of the calendar. Amazing. I can't imagine all the time and effort it took to put this in place. By the way, it has taken a lot of time. Thousands of hours have gone into this so far, and which is one of the reasons why we are so excited about being able to actually launch Seedtime for the first time and put it into your hands as soon as possible. So set the date, mark it on your calendar. Write a sticky note, set your alarms, Tuesday, March 2 at 8 a.m. Central Time. At the time of this recording, that is tomorrow. It's opening tomorrow. You will be able to jump in and seal the deal, pledge towards our Kickstarter, and that will lock in your account. That's 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Excuse me. I messed that slide up, didn't I? It should be 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and 8 and 9 a.m. Wow, I really, okay. I'm going to take that slide down and redo it for you. Just want to make sure that that's clear. I really messed those times up there. You can see we've got a lot on my plate over here. All of those times were off. It's going to be 6 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Eastern. All right. So let me just export that for you. And then we're going to open it up and take some question and answers, because I know that some of you all have question and answers as well. All right, I'm just exporting that, and then I'll pop it up again. All right, so we've got some questions, right? Let's see. John just got confused. Sorry, John. We'll try and help clear anything up if we can. Now, you must mark your chat as a question, otherwise I will miss it. I'm only going to be looking at the chats that are marked as a question, okay? So please, please, please mark your chat as a question. And here we go. Tools. Hold on one second. I'm just pulling the slide back up with the appropriate times, the actual right times, so that you all can mark your calendar and get everything. So 8 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Eastern Time. 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay. So Scott has a question here, and I'll just hit it up right off the bat. Says, where do I purchase the lifetime? I'm not finding a link in my emails. So tomorrow morning, we are sending you the link, and it's going to take you to our Kickstarter page where you'll pledge toward the page, and you'll be able to lock in your account at that time. Yep. All right. Judy says, I garden in earth boxes, 50 plus. Where there be enough locations to accommodate 50 plus areas? Absolutely, Judy. We have ideas of actually incorporating garden areas into the calendar. I've just been thinking about this recently. So even within a single calendar, you may be able to have multiple garden areas that you can organize your crop planting schedules by. And like I said, you'll be able to create unlimited gardening calendars. So if you wanted 50 calendars, you could do it that way too. But I think that we'll have easier ways than creating 50 calendars. We're definitely going to make it work for you with your multiple areas. Casey says, how can I help Seedtime realize all these ideas? So besides jumping in, Casey, great question. Obviously, your financial support is one of the biggest things that will be helpful currently. But if you, the next thing beyond financial support is getting in the app and helping us with planning out your garden and letting us know the things that features that you would like to see in there. And your input, I can't stress it enough, is so critical and crucial to us and so important to us that we are going to be taking all of that input and using it to guide us on where we take this app. Because we want it to work best for you. By the way, everyone, thank you so much. I just want to say real quickly here before we go into more questions, thank you so much for jumping on with us with me in this demo. I hope that you're as excited and can see the potential in this as much as we are excited. And I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to jump in with us. I know some of you may need to go just because of schedules and stuff. You're perfectly fine to do that. I want to let you know that you have that permission to go. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all if you need to. But I am going to stay on and answer questions for a while here. I don't know exactly how long, but we'll work through as many questions as we can. And you're welcome to stick around for those questions as well. Just wanted to let you know that. All right, Scott says, was one of the attributes that we could track the amount of produce we expect a plant to produce? Very good question, Scott. We do not have that currently built in, tracking how much produce or even how many plants of a specific planting schedule. But that is definitely something that we will be looking at including in the future. Especially when it comes to small farms and building out the small farm extension, but even for home gardeners, I think it'd be great. And especially as we build out the layout, knowing how many plants will fit in a certain space in your garden. I feel like all of that is important to making it extremely simple and easy. Erica says, what is before beta and after beta really mean? Okay, so let me explain it this way. We have a pilot program. And what that means is we have a set of core features, like the ones that we've gone over today, that we are going to build into Seedtime. And we don't want to officially release Seedtime as think of it like two phases. We have a pilot program phase where we're building out all of these things. So you're going to get access to the calendar, but the winter gardening algorithm may not be working right now, right? Or some of the other features. The journal might be not all completed yet, so you might not be able to use the journal yet, etc. So that's the pilot program. Once we have those core features finished, we're going to transition to a beta stage. That means that you're able to use the journal, you have all of those core features available to you during beta. And frankly, we may stay in beta for a while. Beta basically means it's in a testing phase. We've built out our main features, but we want to test it for a while and polish it up before we go public with it. And frankly, we'll probably be closed to the public for a significant amount of time as we polish it up with our beta users. So that's a very good question. All right. Casey says, how is the normal price of Elite not higher than $295? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to there, Casey. The way it works is if you want to get a lifetime account of Seedtime, the discounted rate is $195. We have a limited number of discounted spots at $195. If you want Elite access, it's an add-on. So you would add $200 to the $195. And that would make it $395. Does that make sense? So if you want Elite access, it's an add-on. All right, Sarah says, yeah, seconding Scott, is it possible to track expected and actual yields? Definitely something that we're going to be looking at including in the future release. Laura says, will lifetime account include all future upgrades and improvements to the app, software, and website? Okay, very good question. So yes, it will include all future upgrades and improvements at the unlimited plan level. I should make clear that we will have in the future, for example, one of the easiest examples is the small farm extension. That small farm extension is not going to automatically be included in the unlimited plan. So if you get a lifetime of up to unlimited right now and you want to upgrade to have that small farm extension in the future, you may have to pay more to get that additional extension to the app. But at our unlimited plan level with the core features that we have listed here, you'll have unlimited access with all upgrades for life. And by the way, we will include our layout feature in that unlimited plan as well. So when we build out the layout, you'll get lifetime access to that as well, where you can lay out your garden. All right, Deborah says, I'm not on Facebook, so how would that work in the elite membership? Very good question, Deborah. We are exploring and have already started thinking about and exploring options to create a group outside of Facebook and actually move everyone outside of Facebook. There's a significant number of people that aren't comfortable with Facebook and don't want to be in Facebook and a Facebook group. We get it. We understand. And so we're looking into that. I can't promise you that it's going to happen right away, but it's something we're looking into. Robin says, how can I ensure I get a lifetime when the Kickstarter begins? Very good question, Robin. The biggest thing is to keep an eye on your email and on the Facebook group. As soon as we send the link out, you all are our VIP members and you're first in line to get access, okay? You're first in line to get those discounted lifetime accounts. So we will not let anyone else know about the Kickstarter, and anyone else who's promoting the Kickstarter is not going to send anything out until noon, until the middle of the day. So you have between 8 a.m. and 12 noon to jump in there first. And there may be enough that it will last further on in the day. I don't know. I frankly don't know how quickly they will sell out. So I would just encourage you to get in as soon as you can. How many are available? We will be revealing that. Gotta have a little suspense in life, right? We'll be revealing that to you tomorrow morning. Yeah, so Scott saying, question about Pacific time and missing the unlimited opportunity. I will almost guarantee you that they will not sell out within the first 1 or 2 hours. So even if you jump in, several hours in, I encourage you to get in as soon as you can. Unfortunately, our launch date and time is set, and I can't change that now. So, I would say do whatever you can. If you need to go use a bathroom break or something at work or something, and don't tell your boss I told you that. No, just do whatever you can to jump in and get one. And like I said, I frankly don't know how quickly they'll sell out. Erica says, can you upgrade later and still get the discount or locked in where you pledged? Erica, you can, if you join now and let's say you join at our 50% discount monthly and you're paying $10 a month, you will be able later to upgrade with that same 50% discount to go to like $80 a year, or at the basic level, $5 a month, upgrade to $40 a year. So yes, within that, that plan, you will be able to upgrade at that 50% discount. And even from basic to unlimited, you can upgrade at the 50% discount as long as you stay a member with us. If you drop out your membership, then you will drop out and come in at whatever pricing level we have at the time afterwards. Deborah says, why is there a 50% lifetime discount if it's already unlimited? Very good question, Deborah. Unlimited refers to how many calendars and crops and planting schedules you can put into your calendar. Unlimited does not equal lifetime. If you purchase a lifetime account, then the 50% discount doesn't relate to you because you don't have to pay again. Casey says, but what if the app is sold? Like if we sell out to another company, I'm guessing that's what you're asking. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but I will tell you that if we sell out to another company, we will put in the contract and make sure that you're locked in and that they sign and it's legally on paper that they're not going to do anything to you, that you will still get the upgrades and everything at the levels that you're at. We don't plan on selling Seedtime. All right, Rachel. So the Elite Lifetime will cover pretty much anything you all do in the future with your programs. Rachel, I guess I kind of covered that already. It's not a blanket covering of everything. There may be some features in the future that are not included at the unlimited plan level right now, but anything that we include at that unlimited plan level, you have access to all upgrades, everything, etc. Judy says, we'll be credited for fees already paid if we go lifetime. Absolutely, Judy. Yep, we will do that for you. Laura says, when will the program be ready for pilot beta use? Very good question, Laura. So we are looking at we are doing everything that we can to, and we're working at even pulling some of you all in earlier. Normally, people don't get access to Kickstarter, what they pledge on a Kickstarter until the Kickstarter ends. And we've been working hard on a way to try and get some of our VIP members, some of you, in before our Kickstarter ends. So there's a possibility. I can't promise it. But there's a possibility that we may be able to get you in sometime this next month in March. Well, this month now. Is it the 1st of March already? Yeah, March 1. Sometime this month. Otherwise, for all of our other backers that come in, our official dates are between April 1 to April 15 is our onboarding of the pilot program. Gail, where do you go grab one? Look for the link tomorrow and we'll get you set up. Actually, hey, I have an idea. I'm going to I can send you directly to our Kickstarter page right now. So I'll put in the chat. Here's our Kickstarter page. You can go over there right now. You can't pledge anything right now, but you can go over and see it. And you can sign up to get notified from Kickstarter too if you want. All right. Jessica says, what happens if some of these amazing features aren't able to be successfully developed? Very good question, Jessica. Number one, we are going to do everything in our power to successfully develop the features that we have just listed to you. As you can see from the demo, we have already successfully developed many of them. If we come to a point where we realize that we cannot successfully develop a certain feature to its full extent, we will, number one, do the best that we can with it. We're going to give you the best that we can. And number two, we will communicate with you and we will let you know. I don't envision that happening because pretty much almost anything is possible when there's a will, there's a way, right? So we've got a pretty strong will to make sure that this happens. So I don't envision that happening, but I just want to be upfront with you and let you know that we will communicate with you on that, and we're going to do the best that we can. Judy, does the lifetime membership include the videos? Yes, it does. Very good question. Kim is one of our lifetime members from way back in like 2013 or 14 when we were offering lifetime memberships. No, Kim, you do not need to sign up tomorrow. You will be rolled in as a lifetime member. Very good question. Scott says, Paul, I think you should start a new poll for how many people feel like they would want lifetime after watching this. Very good question. Very good, Scott. Actually, you know what? I'm going to poll inside here real quick. What practice are you interested in? Monthly, 6 month, yearly, lifetime. All right, just a quick poll to see where you all are at. Of the different ones that you might be interested in. Okay, this will be interesting to see. All right, and we should post a poll in the Facebook group too. Awesome, Linda, excited to have you in. Fantastic. Jessica, will there be some place listing all the different tiers that you went through in this video before this Kickstarter goes live so we can figure out what we want before the pressure is on tomorrow? Very good question, Jessica. Yes, I will be posting it in the Facebook group. I will be posting it in the Facebook group. So keep an eye in the Facebook group. Robin says, will the link just be on Facebook or will you email the link? I will email the link as well, both in Facebook and email. J Dub says, how many simultaneous users can your current server handle? Gonna have to talk to my developer, but I have talked to him about this already, and he's talked to me about it. And you know, as soon as we reach our max with this, we're gonna upgrade to. We're gonna get you covered. So we'll be able to have thousands of simultaneous users, but we're not going to pay for that access until we actually need it, right? So, but we're gonna always make sure that you're covered. When will we pay for our pledge, tomorrow or at the end of Kickstarter? So what you do is you pledge at the beginning, but it doesn't actually get deducted from your bank account until the end of the Kickstarter. So you won't actually pay until the end of until April 1 is the day that our Kickstarter ends. So you won't pay until April 1, but you'll pledge a certain amount tomorrow. Rob says, wasn't there a chance of winning access today? Need to be online when that happens. Wait a second. Did I promise that? I forget. I forgot if I promised that. Okay, cool. Well, who wants to win lifetime access? Should we do a quick drawing? Let me know in the chat if you want to do a quick drawing to win lifetime access. We can totally do that. We like you. All right, so my registrants. I'm going to pull up a list of people who are on live right now. I had forgot if I had promised that. Man, I've got so much going on, but if I said it, we're going to do it. So let's see. I'm going to pull on who is on here live right now. And we will do a fun drawing. Okay, everyone wants lifetime access, of course. Who doesn't, right? Okay. So I'm pulling up our list here. Man, I'm sure glad that whoever it was that said it, because I would have ended up just going through this without doing the drawing. All right. Delete row. I have listed on my, no, it looks like there's more than that in the live room right now. So I am going to, whoops, re-export this. See, I've got to export whoever is on live right now, so you can just let the suspense build up in your heart that maybe it will be you. Okay, export. And then I'm going to do this, we're going to do this legit. Random number. Random number, let's see. Okay, so on my list here, I have 101 people. And we're fairly close to that in the live room here right now. So I have, no, 100 people, sorry, 100 people. So let's do this. I'm going to pull up a random number generator, 100 people. I'll show you on the screen, don't worry. This is gonna be 100% legit. So I'm going to share a Chrome tab, random number generator. Are you ready? Max 100, 1 to 100, okay? On your marks, get set. Is your heart rate going faster? Dun, 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 dun. 3, 2, 1, the winner is number 76. Number 76, okay, who's number 76? Don't worry, we're going to pull up the list here, and don't worry, I'm not going to share your personal information, just as your first name here. So number 76 is Barbara Davis. Congratulations. And her email starts with BAR. Barbara Davis. Congratulations. So super excited for you. I'm just going to highlight that so I don't forget it. And we will give you a lifetime account to Seedtime. Barbara Davis. Woohoo! Exciting. Okay. Very good. By the way, looks like 90% of you are interested in a lifetime account. That's very cool. Which means, by the way, we've got 100 people on here. 90% of you are interested in a lifetime account. I would encourage you to jump in as fast as you can, because we don't want you to miss out on that. All right. Patty says, not today. You said it to the gardening challenge group. Good question, Patty. So yeah, to the gardening challenge, we're going to give away lifetime access in the gardening challenge as well. But hey, it's fun to do something spontaneous and builds goodwill, right? We love you guys. We want what's best for you. Can you put the slide up about the difference between Lifetime Elite and Lifetime Unlimited again? We do not have a slide for Lifetime Elite versus Lifetime Unlimited, but that information will be on the Kickstarter, and I will be posting more information in the Facebook group, Terry. All right. Any other questions? Some of the questions got pushed down to the very bottom of the chat. Will PayPal be a option on Kickstarter? I frankly don't know. I don't know if Kickstarter takes PayPal or not. So we'll have to check tomorrow. Scott says, consider donating to his Kickstarter anyways. Yeah, we'll take any donation, any donations. But we believe, let me tell you this, we believe that when you give, it comes back to you. And so we believe in being givers, not takers. So we're not here to try and draw out all of your money and, take everything from you and become some super successful somebody. No, we're here to do this for you. And so we're doing everything we can to make it work for you. I mean, that's why we opened up our basic plan, 50% off our basic plan. We weren't even planning to offer 50% off our basic plan, but we want to make sure that everyone can get in, right? So, yeah, so it doesn't look like Kickstarter accepts PayPal right now. Sorry, they have to sign up with a credit or debit card. Curiel says, you mentioned the ability to add custom tasks to a crop. Is that something those of us who grow our own seeds will be able to utilize to incorporate both the fruit harvest and seed harvest phases for those plantings? For example, harvesting table green beans or carrots versus their later mature fruits and seed heads. Very good question, Curiel. And yes, that will be included. It is not something that's currently built out, but that will be included in any of the plans, including lifetime plans. When we add that, you'll be able to add any custom task. Can we get a list of the 60 plants that you're going live with? Currently, we have, it's actually 30 plus plants that we're going live with. Those are crop categories, like I was saying before. They're veggies and herbs, some of the most popular ones. Can you get a list of them? Ask that in the Facebook group, and and I can probably drop in a list there in the Facebook group. And I want to make it clear that we're going to be rapidly expanding that database. In my mind, that's a very small database right now, but it's something that can get people started. But we're going to be rapidly expanding that database and including specific varieties for those different crops as well. All right. Any other questions? If you have another question, you may need to type it in again because it's disappeared on the chat. Will veggie labels be able to be printed? Good question, John. That may be something that we would look into for us, a small farm extension to include in the small farm extension. We won't it's not something that we're launching with the ability to do, but that's this is, again, why we want to have you in, so that we can get your ideas, and it will guide us on what we build into the app. Tracy says, I'm late to the video. Where can I go back to see the difference between the membership levels, specifically the difference between the lifetime options? Good question, Tracy. I'm going to be posting the replay of this in the Facebook group, as well as you'll be able to access the replay at the same link after this program is finished. So you can watch it there as well. Plus, I'll be posting some pricing in the Facebook group as well. Melody says, will you have something to lay out your garden? Like if some things grow better next to somewhere else, or some are taller than others? Also, so what level would that be at? Very good question. Yes, we do plan to have layouts. We're planning to build out layouts for the garden so that you can lay out your garden. And we are planning to include companion planting tips and ideas in there as well, so that you can get ideas, so you can know which plants to grow, next to each other and stuff like that. Plus crop rotations. We're going to be building that into the layout so you can plan your crop rotations. That is going to make crop rotations so easy. Man, I remember the day where I was planning crop rotations in a spreadsheet and with flashcards, and moving my flashcards around to do crop rotations. This is going to be cool. Yes. And what level would that be at? All levels. Our layout feature, we will include with the unlimited level and the basic level and the lifetime accounts. You'll get access to the layout features. Can you talk to categories versus varieties so that we understand what you had with Beets 1 and Beets 2? Very good question. And I'm just going to demonstrate it in the calendar, okay? So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and turn off some of these so that you can see this visually. Okay. Actually, I'm going to switch to the timeline view here because it'll be a little easier to visually see it. I can probably do it right here. So you have a crop category, beets, and then you have different planting schedules of beets underneath. Beets 1, Beets 2. We're planning to include also where you can input the variety name. So it'll say like Beets 1 Touchstone Gold. It's a variety of yellow beets. Or Beets 2 Merlin. It's a variety of red beets, or Chioggia, right? So you'll be able to input that variety name, and it will list it on the specific crop planting schedule. Otherwise, let's say I want to input a new beet. So I'm going to come here and input beets. And let's say I want to, this beets has a different days to maturity than my other previous beets. Okay. So I'm going to change the days to maturity to 100. And there's just a little tweak here. I'm just changing it on both for right now. But I'm going to input that beets, and this is my third planting of beets. Actually, it dropped it into space number 1, but we'll get that fixed. These are just the little bugs and tweaks that we got to fix, right? And as you can see, that planting of beets, it's a longer days to maturity. It's a different variety of beets, and you'll be able to input the name of that variety on the planting schedule as well, so you can keep track of them. And then, if you wanted to be harvesting those beets at the same time, you can just line up the harvests, and you can grow multiple different varieties of beets and have them all harvesting at the same time because you have it planned out based on their days to maturity. Let me know if that helped make it make more sense. All right, Robin says, which Facebook group will you be posting it in? I have noticed there are several. Very good question, Robin. The Facebook group is our VIP Early Bird. Seedtime Early Bird VIP Facebook group is the name of it. And I will post it in the chat. Facebook group. Bam. Go join the group. The password is Seedtime, if you haven't joined yet. All right. Charla says, can we still invite friends in today or tomorrow afternoon? Absolutely, Charla. In fact, we're going to have a referral program set up. I mean, you can invite your friends in now. Send friends to. Oops. A bit later, we are going to set up a referral program where. No, actually, I have it almost set up. Well, we're gonna create an opportunity where you can actually invite your friends, and you can earn commissions if your friend signs up. So you could actually get a free account to Seedtime just by referring your friends. And it's just a way to spread faster, benefit you by. How many of you would be interested in that? I'm going to ask that. Okay, I'm going to reset this poll and do a new poll. Would you be interested in a referral program to earn back your investment? I'm just making it real simple, yes or no. To earn back your investment. Basically what it means is when your friend signs up, then you would get a certain percentage of what they paid. All right, so looks like we're getting a lot of yeses, 80 to 90%. Okay, that helps me. That helps me know how to move forward, right? So we're gonna set up a referral program and we'll make that available to you. And basically you can become an ambassador for Seedtime, and any friend that signs up through you'll get compensated for. And basically it makes it where you can have your own free account. All right. Sarah says, if I have a market farm, what plan would be best? I would definitely go with the unlimited account if I had a market farm. And frankly, if I had a market farm, I would buy a lifetime account. That's what I would do, just personally, but that's me. And you might say I'm biased, but no, literally, I spent over $600 for an account of another Kickstarter that was creating a garden planning software that I thought would be cool. I thought it was going to do I didn't think it would do everything that we just said here, and I hadn't even thought of and planned everything that we've just done here. But it was creating an app that would tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and all of that put into an app. It was launching on Kickstarter, and I paid over $600 to get access to it, and I never got access to the app. I don't know if the guys ever even released it. Literally, and that was back in 2016, 17, I forget. Anyways, bless his heart. But that's not going to happen here, by the way. We already have that's one of the reasons why I wanted to demo it for you too. I wanted you to get excited about it, but I wanted you to see that this is real. This is real. We've already built out a bunch of Seedtime. This isn't something that you're just, putting down money for nothing and not going to get it. Hardly wait for tomorrow. Awesome, Linda. Can't wait too. Taylor, will there be plant rotations built in at some point? Absolutely. Yep. Will you have moon phases intervention on the calendar? We can definitely consider that, putting moon phases on the calendar. Mike says, I'm certainly interested in membership, but had a couple questions about the tool. Will there be resources for crop rotation requirement, working with perennial crops like strawberries and asparagus? Will we be able to access multiple seed vendors? Yes, and yes. Very good questions. When we build out the layout, we are definitely building in a crop rotation solution that ties with the layout of your garden and building in those crop rotations. Number two, working with perennial crops, strawberries and asparagus, etc. Yes, You are going to be able to work with those perennial crops, and eventually you will be able to put in custom tasks at any time during the year. So even if you're working with like an orchard and you want to, you have tasks of pruning your trees, you can throw in, this is my peaches, and at this time in the year I prune them, and you can drop those tasks into your calendar. We're going to be able to make that happen. And will you be able to access multiple seed vendors? Very good question. We already link out to multiple seed vendors through our suggested varieties, but as we are building out our crop database, all of those varieties that we input, we are going to have them directly linked out to multiple different seed vendors as well. Vendors that we trust and that we believe in. Awesome, Terry. So glad that you were able to join. Patty, will you consider adding a meal planning feature and recommendations for local chefs? That's a great idea. That is a great idea, Patty. We got to add that into our ideas. I can't promise it, but it's a great idea. Judy says, will we use Born to Grow until April? When will we switch? I assume we would then reset up the new plan on Seedtime. Yes, Judy, continue using our old calendars with Born to Grow, and then you will need to reset it up in the new calendar, and that will probably be the beginning of April. Yep. Can you please repost the Kickstarter link? Thanks, Rob, for doing that. Rob reposted the Kickstarter link. Scott says, friends hate referral programs. Hey, listen, be careful. If you are going to use a referral program, don't make your friends upset about it. Scott says he'd rather give it to the friend. Absolutely. All right. Kiriel says, as an educator, referral program could be very useful, but an affiliate ambassador link would be preferable. Yeah, so Kiriel, what it is we are creating an affiliate. Referral program is probably the wrong wording. What we're doing is we are creating an affiliate program, and we have an affiliate program set up for Kickstarter itself, so people can jump on as an affiliate for our Kickstarter. So if you're interested in that, in being a part of that affiliate program, that's the more correct terminology that I should be using. And by the way, most people use an affiliate program for if they have like an audience or something that that is interested in gardening. You can do it as an individual. You can jump on as an individual, and that works as well with the affiliate program, but it is usually for a larger one. All right. All right. Do you give tours of your farm or for driving through? Good question. Yeah, we let people stop by. Just make sure to call us ahead. Awesome, Jessica. We're excited to have you. Orchard support would be amazing. Absolutely. Definitely. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Absolutely, friends. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up our session for today. We've been going almost 2 hours. Phenomenal. You all have had excellent questions. I know I haven't been able to answer every single question, but hopefully it's giving you a quick idea and comprehension of what's going on and where we're planning to head with Seedtime. And we look forward to having you be part of our pilot program, of our beta users, and it's going to be a fantastic, awesome community. We are located in Middle Tennessee. That's where we are at. All right, looking forward to tomorrow. Don't forget, set your alarm. Make sure that you jump in early, 8 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. We're going to be launching. We're going to be sending you out the link by email as well as in Facebook. Go grab your account while you can. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. Have an awesome day, everyone. we'll be in touch. And by the way, tomorrow morning, I'll jump on live in the Facebook group probably as we're launching tomorrow morning. So if anybody wants to hang out there for a little bit or have more, if anyone else has any other questions or last minute questions and stuff, definitely we'll be in there. Okay, have a good day. We'll see you. We'll be in touch. Until next time, bye-bye.